Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun scroll saw project video, we are going to be starting Easter projects for 2025. Really cool. Easter is right around the corner, my friends. I've already got the pattern selected, printed out to us full size, prepped, and attached to our material with clear packing tape. It is an older Steve Good design, so please keep that in mind if you guys want to go and download it and try it out in your garage or workshops. Keep in mind, Easter has two very different meanings for a lot of people in the big wide world. There is, of course, the fun and fanciful side of the Easter holiday with the Easter bunny, Easter eggs, Easter baskets, candy, and springtime and things like that. But then on the other side of the coin, you do have the very real, very powerful, and true religious meaning of the Easter holiday. And I want to do projects dedicated to both sides of the coin for the Easter holiday. And I felt it would be a great idea to begin with a nice little Easter bunny design. I felt that would be appropriate. As I said, I've already got everything prepped here, and all the material we're going to be using in today's video is right here in the palm of my hand. It doesn't take up a lot of material. As a matter of fact, everything here came out of the scrap bin, and I was able to mill it down to the proper dimensions, so a great way to use up some of that ever accumulating scrap wood in your garage or workshop. But as I said, it's an Easter bunny design, and it's going to depict the Easter bunny presenting a classic style Easter egg. So really cool. It's going to have a little 3D effect to it. Here is the Easter bunny himself. You can see his profile and ears there. You have his two hind legs there that will sit on the base. And again, this is 1/2 inch material. It started life as 3/4 inch pine, and I milled it down to 1/2 inch thickness over on the table saw. Then you have his two little front paws here, and we're going to stack cut both of those at one time out of some scrap 1/4 inch material. And the paws do have a little bit of veining there to represent his little fingers on his paw pads and everything. Then you're going to have the little cup that the Easter egg sits on, and it's going to be a basic circle cut out of some scrap 3/4 inch pine. But you can always go the extra mile and give it a decorative flair by going out to a craft or hobby store and picking out a nice little wooden chalice to glue to the base. Or if you were very good with wood turning, you could turn a little cup or chalice for the Easter egg to sit in. But this little profile here is included in the pattern pack that Steve Good offers. He always goes above and beyond. And then you're going to have the base itself, which is 1/2 inch in thickness. And when I picked this out of the scrap bin, ironically, it was the proper width for the base that the pattern calls for. But once you get everything cut out, the Easter bunny is going to sit there, and then the little O ring is going to sit there, and it's going to comfortably hold a classic style Easter egg. So you're going to be able to display this on a shelf desk or countertop during the spring and Easter season. I have a nice little blue plastic egg here that you can put little treats, candies, or goodies in for Easter egg hunts. Really excited to get Easter projects started over here on the platform. And there's not very many pilot holes on this project. It's mainly outside perimeter cut lines to release the pieces from the waste wood. But since we need to drill the few pilot holes that we need for this project, let's move the camera and do that now and get started. And over here at the workbench, we're taking the Seiko scroller's drill and drilling out the 3 pilot holes for internal cutting over on this project. Not very many internal cuts to make up the design here. And over at the scroll saw, we will quickly do those 3 internal cuts. And the Easter bunny's eye is the most tedious cut on the entire project, in my opinion. For all of the scrolling on this project, I'll be using number 5 Ultra reverse tooth blades, and they'll cut through all thicknesses of the material we are using here today exceptionally well with minimal chip out. But once those 3 internal cuts are done, the rest of the cuts will be outside perimeter cuts. Here we are cutting out the Easter bunny's front paws here, and these are 2 stack cut pieces of 1/4 inch material. And if you guys would like to try this design, it's available as a free pattern download over at Steve Good's scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com website over in his free pattern catalog. Here we are cutting out the hind legs of the Easter bunny, and these are 1/2 inch pieces of material. I feel that this project, as with all scroll saw projects, has several options and versatility. It can be used as intended as an Easter egg holder, or if you wanted to just cut out the Easter bunny for a standalone design to display with some spring flowers, that's another option for use of the pattern. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and also follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. I'd really appreciate the support. Here we are cutting out the base, and this will complete the scroll saw work. And I didn't like how bulky the base looked once we got over here to the workbench and we got our first visual of the finished design doing the dry fit here. So I did opt to make another base, which we'll do here momentarily. I just wanted the material to be just a little bit thinner. So in the scrap bin, I selected a piece of off-cut material that was a piece of those cedar fence pickets we used in a previous Christmas scroll saw project videos last year. And I quickly cut it down to the proper dimensions over here on the Rikon table saw. And I just felt that the thinner material had an overall more pleasing appearance to the eye. But then it will be time for sanding, and we will use 180 grit Klingspor Woodworking Shop sandpaper in the vibrating palm sander, and I'll sand the front and back side of each piece individually, and then we will sand the base. And I will slightly bevel all of the corners of the base while sanding, just to knock off those sharp corners, make it a little more comfortable to hold in the hand. But then it will be time for gluing up the Easter Bunny, and I'll be using medium grade CA glue and activator. And even though the glue basically bonds and cures instantly with the activator, I still like to set projects aside for around 5 minutes to make sure that that glue has dried and cured properly. But after the glue has dried and cured, it will be time to add some splashes of color to the Easter Bunny and the base and the ring. And I spray painted the Easter Bunny with a nice white color to give him a Peter Cottontail style of appearance. And this is Rust-Oleum spray paint I'm using. And once he was painted, I hung him on a hook above the wood stove to dry. And then I went and picked up the base, and I spray painted it a nice bright green color to represent the springtime grass. This is also Rust-Oleum spray paint. And then for the little ring that makes up the cup for the Easter egg to sit in, I stained it with a very dark shade of Minwax wood stain to give it an earth tone appearance. And I wiped off the excess with some paper towels here and hung it on a hook to dry. And after everything was dry to the touch, it was time to begin the final glue up and assembly, again with more CA glue and activator. And I'm just eyeballing everything here, not doing any kind of proper measurements. But after the glue had once again dried and cured, it was time for finishing. And for finishing, I used several coats of Rust-Oleum clear gloss. It really gives it a nice glossy appearance and protection for years to come. And once the clear coat dried, the project was complete. And here we have the completed Easter Bunny Easter egg holder, cut out almost 100% over at the scroll saw. And I say almost completely at the scroll saw because we did make another base. I cut out the original base I had prepped and showed you guys at the beginning of the video over on the scroll saw. But once I got everything cut out and I did a dry fit assembly over at the workbench, I felt that it was way too big and bulky, you know, visually. So I wanted to make another one. So I rummaged around in the scrap bin and found an offcut from those cedar fence pickets we used in videos last Christmas season, and I used that and cut that base out over on the table saw, and you guys seen that process. But everything else, the bunny and the Easter egg holder itself, was cut out over on the scroll saw. Thank you, Steve Good, for another beautiful design from your pattern catalog. Once again, it's one of his older designs. If you guys are curious to go and download it and try it for yourselves out in your garage or workshops, it took me around 15 minutes to scroll everything out from start to finish. It is a very simplistic design in nature, and I think that lends itself also to teaching little ones out in your garage or workshop with proper guidance and teaching techniques, because there's only 3 internal cuts on this project. You have the internal cut of the ear there, you have the one of the eye, and then you have the one on the center of the little cup that holds the traditional Easter egg. The rest of the cuts are just outside perimeter cut lines. So I feel like maybe an adult could cut out all of the interior cuts, you know, that could be a little bit more tedious for smaller hands. And then, you know, the little ones with proper guidance, as I said, could cut out the rest of the project. So it could be something really cool to tie in with parents and grandparents, you know, with one side making the project and then the other side dyeing the traditional Easter eggs for the Easter holiday. So that's a cool idea I just thought about. But I'm really happy with how it finished up. I finished it with some Rust-Oleum spray paints and Minwax wood stain. We spray painted the Easter Bunny himself a bright white color. It looks like a lot of the rabbits my late grandfather, who taught me woodworking, it looks like the ones that he used to raise, because he was a championship rabbit breeder, and I have his trophies sitting over here to the side out here in the workshop to honor his memory and legacy. And then I done the base a bright green color. Those were Rust-Oleum spray paints, and then we stayed the ring there at the base, we stained that a nice dark Minwax wood stain. And I think with the blue egg there, all of the colors complement each other and really pop and has a nice springtime vibe to it, especially with the Rust-Oleum clear gloss we added at the end. It really made everything have a nice glossy sheen, as you can see it reflected there in the lights of the workshop. But I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm going to talk once again about a scroll saw pattern's versatility, because I see a lot of options and uses for a project like this. If you just want to use the Easter Bunny himself for a little standalone design for some springtime stuff, or if you do floral arrangements and you want to put a bunny in it, you could totally cut him out and use him for that purpose. If you wanted to cut out two bunnies and make the base bigger and have one on each side, you know, facing a bigger Easter egg, you know, you could pick up at a craft store or something like that. That could be a nice display option for a shelf, desk, or countertop. And then if you are really good over at the scroll saw with cutting out letters, you could cut out Happy Easter, you know, jump into spring, spring 2025, Easter 2025, whatever the case may be, for just added decorative enhancements to a very simplistic project, if that makes any sense. So again, there's always options and versatility. And as I said with the little cup there, it's just an O you cut out over on the scroll saw. It was 3/4 inch pine that I had in the scrap bin. But as I said in the beginning, you could totally go to a craft or hobby store and get a little wooden wheel or a nice little decorative chalice to hold the Easter egg in. Or if you wanted to combine scroll saw woodworking and wood turning, and you were good with wood turning, you could turn a little cup to hold the traditional Easter egg in it. I have so many fond memories of Easter egg hunts out at the family church back when I was a child. You know, I never found the elusive golden egg that would mean you won the Easter egg hunt, but I always had fun with friends and loved ones out at church doing the Easter egg hunts when I was little. And I also have so many memories of dyeing Easter eggs with family and loved ones. Those are memories that I will cherish forever and ever, and I always look back on them fondly during the Easter holiday. Once again, Easter always has two meanings for separate different people. You know, some enjoy the fun and fanciful side of Easter, which this project represents, but then there's also the very true and powerful and religious meaning of the Easter holiday, and I am going to focus on some projects on that side of it. You guys know I want to bring everything to the table that I can to represent the holiday properly, but I felt that this would be a great jump into spring, so to speak, scroll saw project to represent not only spring but Easter itself. The Easter Bunny is coming to town, my friends. He is hippity hopping this way, but really cool. I had a lot of fun out here now that spring has sprung and the days are getting warmer and milder and longer. So I'm having a lot of fun out here making these creative designs for you, and I'm happy that it was warm enough for me to start using paints and different colors as opposed to just using stains and clear coats and things like that, if that makes any sense. But I had a lot of fun making this project, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make this project, and hopefully along the way you picked up a tip, trick, or tidbit along the way. But I had a lot of fun making it, as I said, and I hope you guys did too. One more look at it all the way around. It has that nice 3D effect with the way that the bunny rabbit had been made, the Easter bunny, excuse me, but really cool. That's about all for this one. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you'll click that subscribe button and follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social media feeds will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you guys. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.